Welcome to Intellect Initiative. Human beings are complex and it's not easy to put people into categories. Many brilliant minds in the academic world attempted to do this daunting task, and they created very complex frameworks to identify common traits and put people into broad categories. I emphasize the word broad categories, right? They are broad categories. I guess there's no single framework that can encompass everything, that can achieve all the explanations. So today, I'm not trying to compete with these brilliant minds, but instead, I'm trying to put forth a very simple little framework based on my experience over the past decade with my clients and also things I've observed with other individuals that I've come across. I see an interesting crossover between 4 different markers that creates 4 different types of behavior and how they play out in different situations. I'm mentioning again, I'm not trying to create a very complex model. I'm just putting something out so we can explore this nice idea. Okay. I think we all have these 4 characters in us and they all come out in various situations and play a part depending on the situation. All right. The 4 markers: internally strong and confident. That's one marker. Internally weak and inferior. That's another marker. Externally kind and peaceful. Externally tough and harsh. So those are the 4 markers. Now, let me put some sliders so we can play with these markers and explore this idea further. Now, I want to emphasize 3 things. These lines represent a spectrum, and I'm only going to take about 4 extreme ends so we can explore this idea easily. Number 2, I think we all have these 4 different personalities depending on the situation. It's situational, okay? And none of these markers are permanently set for any individual. Number 3, there might be emerging patterns where 1 or 2 characters are prevalent. To make things easy in today's discussion, as I said, I will group individuals based on their most prevalent character, okay, out of these 4 characters. Right, let's drag this marker to the bottom and drag this marker to the right. Internally weak and inferior, externally kind and peaceful. We often mistakenly take these individuals as an innocent bunch, but in reality, they adopted a kind and peaceful external demeanor in order to deal with their internally weak nature. An externally peaceful person will be less prone to conflicts, arguments, fights, battles, wars, etc. So rather than working on the internal strength, they just pass through life by adopting a peaceful external behavior because it's easy to do. And unfortunately, they do get pushed over a lot by other people. And that's kind of sad because they don't want to gain that internal strength. They just decide to make it easy, make every situation easy by bending over and over and over depending on what that situation is demanding, what other people are demanding. So let alone fighting for others, they never even stand up for themselves, even when it's absolutely necessary. Unfortunately, sometimes religious frameworks and ideologies and philosophies provide them shelter, and they utilize these religious principles to justify their peaceful behavior, which in reality caused by the lack of internal strength rather than any religious morality. Now, I'm not saying religious frameworks are bad or being peaceful is wrong. Keep in mind, look, at the end of the day, being peaceful is a good thing. But the problem is it shouldn't happen for the wrong reason. Religious frameworks are excellent, and I'm a big supporter of some of these frameworks. Again, they shouldn't be utilized to cover up something that's lacking. Okay? So that's all I'm trying to say here. The problem with this type of peacefulness is that it happens because there's no other choice. It shouldn't happen because someone's internally weak and behaving peacefully is their only option. Think about it that way. There's no option for them. They're just going through life without making any efforts, without making any choices. The only choice is being peaceful. Hence, it's not really being peaceful. Okay. In latter part of today's video, we will see how to be properly peaceful, forgiving and benevolent. So given these characteristics of the said personality, I like to call this type passive pushovers. If you feel like this is you, and if you feel like this is your prevalent character in most of the situations in life, then my dear friend, you got some work to do. It's okay. Don't put yourself down. I'm not putting you down. I'm not saying anything negative about you. All I'm saying is, while it's impossible to provide a detailed plan over a small video like this, all I'm trying to say is work on it. And I'll provide you with 3 pointers. Keep in mind, 3 suggestions, 3 very small pointers for you to move forward, okay, and develop that internal strength. Number 1, try to identify situations where you are being pushed or you are treated badly. This could be a big step for many individuals who are in this category, as they are so accustomed to letting things go. They don't even understand that they're being pushed over. They don't even understand that they're being used or abused. This reminds me of a quote from one of my favorite movies, V for Vendetta. The quote is, "You wear a mask for so long, you forget who you were beneath it." So for passive pushovers, this is the case. So if you're one of those people who are internally weak and externally peaceful, then you have been wearing this peaceful mask for a very long time. You might have forgotten how to fight for yourself, how to even identify situations where you should be fighting for yourself. Therefore, it could take some time to even identify the wrongdoings that happen to you on a daily basis. So the first step is to identify situations where you should be standing up for yourself. Just identify. That's half the battle. Don't do anything yet. All I want you to do is just identify those situations. Step number 2, pick the least scary one out of that lot, okay? And then try to fight back. Verbally, of course. I'm not talking about physically harming anybody. I'm talking about just standing up for yourself. Verbalize your emotions, okay? Verbalize what you are feeling rather than trying to maintain a peaceful equilibrium. I know it's painful when you're doing it, but believe me, in the long run, it'll be the most beneficial for you. Step number 3. I told you it's a 3-step process. You will learn a lot from this first attempt. I asked you to identify some situations like this. Then I asked you to pick the least scary one, and then you will stand up and fight for yourself. Once you do that, you will learn a lot from this first attempt. It'll take time for you to process it, but reflect back and see how you can do it better next time. Then pick another situation that you should be fighting. Fight back and repeat this process. Keep in mind, it's not a detailed plan. We can't do that or a video like this, but I hope these pointers will guide you to become stronger internally. Now let's leave this marker where it is and drag this other slider to the left. Internally weak and inferior, externally tough and harsh. These are the bullies, the trolls. They adopt a very harsh and tough external behavior to cover up the internal weakness, the inadequacy, the inferiority complex. The external behavior, the demeanor, everything they do is just merely an act. They don't feel it like an act, obviously. Don't get me wrong. But that's what's happening. It's not real. It's a coping mechanism. Most of the time, they gain a sense of validity by bullying or trolling the passive pushovers, the first category we talked about today. Or people who are depending on them, maybe their spouse, maybe their children, maybe their students. Whoever is depending on them or whoever is looking up to them or systematically placed in a position where they have some power, then they will show their ugliest form, unfortunately. Maybe something might have happened to these bullies in their past to act this way. Well, there's a lot of studies exploring this type of personalities and trying to understand why they are behaving the way they are behaving, and obviously it's a multifaceted phenomenon, so we exactly don't know why. Some of them use fake online profiles as an outlet to gain validation, bullying or trolling others. Most of these individuals run away in fear when they have to fight a real battle, and that's the saddest part for them. Okay, the toughness and their harsh nature only emerges when they are in front of passive pushovers or people who are depending on them. I have to also emphasize that I said they tend to make fake profiles online as an outlet. They tend to use social media platforms to satisfy that itch. But that doesn't mean everybody who has a fake profile is a bully or a troll. Don't get me wrong, okay? And not all trolls have fake profiles as well. But this is something I've seen, okay? With my clients specifically, okay? When I've worked with my clients, some of these individuals that I've identified as probably trolls or bullies, they had multiple fake profiles and they were just bullying people online. So because it's easy for them to hide behind fake profiles and they can bully anybody easily. So if your prevalent character in most situations is like this, then you should seek assistance of a professional, like a psychologist or a counselor or a psychiatrist. I mean, you need to work on that. There's no easy way to do it, I guess. There are no pointers to give you. Just seek professional assistance. Again, don't put yourself down. Let's embrace it. Okay. Let's not exercise it too much, but identify that that's who you are right now. And you have to identify that it's not healthy, not only for other people, but also for you and your well-being. Now let's leave this marker where it is and drag this marker to the top. Internally strong and confident, externally tough and harsh. I like to call them the Iron Guardians. Most of these people are harsh because either they are trying to protect someone or something, or they're trying to guide other people to do their best. Their tough exterior is not a mask. I repeat, their tough exterior is not a mask. It's not an act. It's not something they do to feel validated. It's a way of guiding others to do their best. And also it's the way that they guide themselves to do their best. Okay, not just others. That toughness, they apply that toughness to themselves as well. Okay, and it's a way of life to protect what should be protected. They are excellent people, by the way. I've had the privilege of meeting many of these Iron Guardians. They are brilliant. And bullies, they don't go near them. One thing about the Iron Guardians is that it might be a little bit hard to be around them sometimes, okay? Due to their externally tough and demanding nature. But they are one kind of people that we should aim to have around us, or even becoming one of them is not a bad idea. You might be able to observe this type of characteristics in good leaders, good parents, good partners. Now, keep in mind, I said good parents and good managers, okay? Not all managers might have them. And remember, not everybody who's acting tough, not everybody who has this tough exterior has that internal strength. So they could be bullies. So be careful and be mindful of how to identify these different types. If you're one of these Iron Guardians, hats off to you. Just be mindful and be a bit cheery when you have to, and celebrate your wins when you have to, when you can. Now let's drag this marker to the right. These are the Tranquil Titans. Internally strong and confident, externally peaceful and kind. It's a breeze to be around them. They guide people gently. They do a lot of work, but they are doing it in a gentle way. They are often mistakenly recognized as passive pushovers due to their peaceful and kind exterior. But don't be confused. They are peaceful and kind not out of desperation, but because they choose to do so. They can be tough, harsh, and fight back if needed. In a potential conflict, these Tranquil Titans, they will assess every aspect of that situation carefully to see if it's worth fighting for. If they deem that a situation is worth fighting for, they will quickly activate the Titan mode. And once that Titan mode is on, they are in the battlefield. They fight brilliantly. They also don't hesitate to stand up and fight to protect others, especially their loved ones, or stand up and fight for people who can't fight for themselves. Bullies, beware. Tranquil Titans are the wrong people to mess with. Now, unlike passive pushovers, Tranquil Titans are the truly peaceful kind. Why do I say that? Tranquil Titans are peaceful not because there's no choice. They are peaceful and kind because they choose to be. They have a choice and they choose to be peaceful and kind. That's the only true peaceful and kind behavior. According to the philosophies of some brilliant minds like Carl Jung, if you are peaceful because you are weak, then that peacefulness is superficial. So, Tranquil Titans are the truly peaceful kind. If you're one of them, well, that's awesome. Keep it up. Right, see if you can identify your dominant character. If some work has to be done, then it's never too late to start. Also, see if you can observe and identify these characters in other people around you, people that you are interacting with on a daily basis. That's it for today. Until I see you next time, take care.